So, hey, how's it going? My name is Dave. A couple of years ago, well, actually, it wasn't even a couple of years ago, it was a little over a year ago. My buddy and I were talking on the phone, and he said to me, "Hey, you know what I've always wanted to do? I always wanted to get into kayak fishing." So, him and I looked at our bank accounts, and we just decided, hey, let's go make this happen. So, I wanted to start a video to show how we got into it, right? So we decided to go to a kayak shop, open up our bank accounts, and just jump right in. So I wanted to show you a little bit about what we do, how we got into it, and my intentional area that I'm going to be working out of is Savannah and the intercoastal waterways of Savannah, Georgia. So I watched a couple of YouTube guys, and I talked to my friends about, the more I get into this, the more I want to share some of my stories. So what I'm going to do is actually take you on a journey of the things that I do and some of the passions that I've found with kayak fish. And I said, the more I do this, I want to do a channel. I want to show everybody how it is that we do what we do, and help people like you who want to get into the fishing and you really like watching the videos, but how do you do it, right? So my intention was to start in Savannah, but I got a wild hair, and I'm meeting up with some friends in Florida, and guess what? I'm starting my video in Florida. So I'm in Tampa right now. I'm actually getting ready to go. I've got my kayak in the back of the pickup truck, and what I'm gonna do is just go and do some fishing and see what I can catch. All right, guys, so here I am. I'm out here on the water, and just starting to do our fishing. I've been out here for about 15 minutes. Just kind of looking around, seeing a lot of fish jumping. There's a few guys out there in kayaks. I'll spin a video around here, but you can see the bridge from Tampa Bay, or over to St. Pete. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not familiar with the area, so please don't beat me up for not knowing the name of the bridge. But just going over some of the area here, looking around. Looks like there's a lot of shallow flats, a little bit of grass flats, and it opens up to a little bit deeper water over here. But what I'm gonna do is probably start working the water's edge over here, looking for some snook. And like I said, I'm seeing a lot of fish jumping and feeding, so I don't know if I'm gonna be trying some top water, but let's go ahead and get after it, and we'll see what kind of business we can get into. So I'm seeing some fish schooling right there in front of me. So one of the things that I've definitely learned from fishing is that don't give up on your retrieve just because your retrieve is right there by the boat. So let's get this grass off of here. We'll send that thing out again. So I've noticed, you'd be surprised how many fish you're actually going to catch right there next to your kayak or your boat or whatever it is that you're fishing on. So like I said, don't give up. You're reeling it in, and you're like, the thing's right there by the boat, let's just pick it up. So I don't know if it's the action that you present once you're getting real close to the kayak and you're about to pull it up at the water, out of the water, because there's some fish out there that must just like it right as it must be shooting up right there next to the boat. So like I said, don't give up on your retrieve when it's close to the boat. There's a lot of opportunity there. If that thing's in the water and that fish is hungry, it don't matter if it's 50 feet from the boat, right there under the boat, or whatever. They're gonna catch it, and they're gonna give you a good time. So keep doing it, have fun, and remember, a lot of the fun is just being able to get out there. I mean, shoot, a bad day working, or I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Shoot, a bad day fishing is better than a good day at work. So don't ever forget that. If you got the opportunity and you got the desire to just get out there and be with nature and
and have a good time. If your passion is being out there on the water, man, I'll tell you what, just go out there, and if you don't catch anything, you just I guarantee you'll have a good day out there just enjoying the sun and being out on the water and doing the things that you love. You know, it's called fishing, it's not called catching. You know, if you could stick your hand out in the water and just grab a fish, where's the fun in that? Maybe if you were hungry, but man, I tell you, if you're out there on the water and you're fishing, and it's better than typing keys into the keyboard or moving boxes in a warehouse or sitting in a courtroom, whatever your job is, don't knock it. Don't ever knock it. If you've got the opportunity to go out and spend some time out there on the water, go out there and do it. Because man, I tell you, it's just a pleasure. It's a blessing to be able to do what you love and be out there catching fish or even just being out in nature and enjoying the day. So, well, sorry you guys missed that, but I just wanted to let you know, I did take some pictures of it, and that speckled trout took a big old bite of my little lure there. But to what I was doing is I was working it really slow, and actually I've been working it a lot faster than I should have been all day. And then as soon as I started slowing down, let the bait go and then drop down to the floor and then bring it again, that's when I started feeling bites, and I actually picked it up, pick up that trout. But if you look here, what I did was I cut about an inch off of the front of that lure. So if you guys are finding that the lures that you got are just not quite what it is, don't be afraid to cut the tip off of that thing and just make it a little bit shorter. Because to be honest with you, I'm looking down in the water, and this is the size of the lures that the minnows that I'm seeing swimming around in the area that I'm fishing. So oh, got me one. What do we got here? Hey, it's a flounder. Look at that. Nice. Hey, came off. Look at that. That's a pretty girl. What you got here? Hold on now. You just chill out. That's probably about a 14-incher, maybe 12, 14. Nice little flounder for the day. It's the second flounder I've caught today. Thanks a lot. See you, girl. Yeah. Slow it down, Dave. Slow it down. Oh, had a bite there. I didn't set the hook. Set the hook, Dave. Set that doggone hook. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just had a maybe I just had a patch of grass that got hooked up. I don't know. Either way, let's rip that grass out of the ground. Don't be scared to set the hook, folks. Sometimes ripping lips is necessary. So this whole area that I've been fishing in has been no more than 3.5, 4 feet. So you can see right now we're about 2.5 feet. Consistently, and just kind of drifting away from that marker over there and kind of working my way left to right, because that's the way that the wind is blowing, and kind of, oh, got a little nibble. That's the way that the wind is blowing, and trying to see. Oh, don't get yourself too cockeyed in the current, because it makes you rock around too much. I try to get myself semi straight on to the current. It makes it a little bit more comfortable, because if you're going sideways, you're going to be rocking with the current and doing one of these things, and you'll have an upset stomach for sure in no time if you're anything like me, because I get a little bit of vertigo, and sometimes I'll get seasick sitting out here. But most of the time, if I pay attention to what I'm doing with my boat and keeping it in a direction that is not against the current, I can stay fairly even in the water, even with a little bit of a rough seas. I wouldn't call this really rough seas, it's just shallow water with some wind and in the bay, and it's a little rocky. So twitch, 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 twitch. See all that bait coming out from underneath there? Look at all that. That's what I need to try to mimic the size. That's about 3 inches, maybe 2 to 3 inches. So if I, oh, looks like I got a bite. Look at that. Got a little tangled up. Make sure you check your bait every time you bring it in. And actually, I should probably change this sucker out. It's probably not doing me a whole lot of good. Look at that. So let me change this thing out and I'll be back. Actually, I changed my mind. What I want to do is show you guys a little bit about what I got going on here. So I've got a Texas eye jig. This is a Texas eye jig, and I'll show you guys the packaging someday. But I got a Rapala knot, Rapala. I don't know how the right way to say it is, but and that is tied to this Texas eye jig, and the intention for this knot is so that this sucker is just as loose as it wants to be, and it acts like a fish in the water looking around. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull myself out another one of these lures, and as you can see here, I'm pretty I'm a big fan of Z-Man Elastec materials, because just to be honest with you, this stuff just lasts longer. They are really good. They got a really good material in there, and a fish that takes a bite. And I've caught 2 fish with that other one that you guys probably saw. So how do you do this correctly? So I take my hook, and I'm left-handed, and I don't know if I do it left-handed or right-handedly, but this is how I do it. So I take my hook and I just grab it, I flip it upside down, and then I take my Z-Man lure and hold it just like this. Make sure that this fin portion is up, okay? And then you take it and bring it up this way, and then you go in. I like to go a little bit north of halfway on that Z-Man nose. So I go in the top, and then I kind of pull it down maybe about a 1/4 inch, and then I go right through the bottom there. Make sure that it comes. I could have done better at getting right in the middle, but then you take that and stretch it all the way over, and it's really stretchy material, so you kind of got to pop it over. See how it like popped over just like that? So you're gonna pop it, and then it just kind of sits normal, just like that. Okay, so remember I was showing you earlier, you take your finger, put your thumb pretty much right where you want this thing to sit, and go through, and then you go in through the bottom, kind of bend it up just a hair, and then make sure you try to come straight up with it and go right through the center of the fins there. And then actually, let me fix this a little bit here. There we go. And then hopefully you've got it so that it's not stretched weird and it looks natural going through the water. And let's get that fish presentation out there. And I didn't cut this one. I want to see if that makes a difference this time. So we'll get that out there and we'll see how it goes. All right, we're fishing with that new Z-Man that I put on there. This is my first cast since I reset that. And I'm already getting bites on her. So might be that is okay now with not being cut. So let's see how it goes. Whoa. About hooked yourself there, Dave. I got a bite, and he kind of nibbled at the tail, and I set that hook, and boy, that thing went whizzing by my head. Got to pay attention, or you will get snagged up pretty quick. That's how you go to the doctor, with a hook in your ear. So I cut my lure down again because I haven't had a bite, or I've only had nibbles, but not any catch since I changed my lure over to that, I want to say it's a 4-inch. So I cut it down again, and you just watch me do my first cast since I've done that. So we'll see if it truly is that bait presentation size. It's causing us to get those catches. All right. Well, you guys, it was a successful day. We did catch some fish. First time ever fishing out of Tampa Bay. Had a pretty good time, and I think we learned a few things. And we will continue to do more stuff in the Savannah area. Like I said this morning, before I even left, this was an opportunity to come and do something at a place that I'd never been before. So it just so happened to be that I had my GoPros and my Osmos, and everything was all lined up for me to start doing my channel. So unfortunately, Inshore Kayak Fishing with Dave from Savannah started in Tampa. So I hope you enjoyed today's fishing, and I hope to see you again soon. If you like what you saw today, would you go ahead and subscribe and like the channel, and I promise there'll be more stuff, you know, as long as the good Lord lets me stay on this earth and be with my family and provide me the opportunity to go out and do this wonderful sport. I'll continue to do so, and I hope to bring you guys along, and maybe we'll learn some cool stuff along the way, and then you can share stuff like fishing techniques and things with your children and your grandchildren or family members that come to your area and want to learn how to fish the intercoastal waterways. So I've talked enough. I hope you guys enjoyed today, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot.